All right, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome back. Another edition of Live at Drew's House. Hope you're all doing well out there. It's just me today. No Sarah. She will not be attending today's show, which is fine. I told her though her fans are getting very angry, but here I am. Another edition. Hope you're all doing okay out there. Nice little way to start out the week today. A lot going on. My guest today is actually, and I'm going to get right to him because I know he's ready to rock. Very timely guy. I usually don't have to wait for this guy. He's the coach of Newburyport High School hockey. He's a teacher in the system. He's been coaching Newburyport for, I'll ask him. It's been a long time. He's one of the longer tenured coaches out there. But he's also just kind of involved in everything, runs summer camps in Newburyport. And it's a good time to talk with him with all this talk about going back to school and how's it going to play out and all that stuff. So he's an old friend of mine, Coach Paul Yameen of Newburyport, and I'm looking forward to speaking with him. And he's just a good hockey guy, so let's get his thoughts on the Boston Bruins as well, so that'll be good. Hope your week has started off okay here. Coming to, flip the page to the end of August here, right? Mid-August into late August. This is wild. So Labor Day right around the corner. And, one of those summers, 2020, I think will be looked at as a summer that absolutely flew by, right? But anyway, let's bring in Coach Paul Yameen. He's ready to rock. All right, and we bring in Paul Yameen. How are you, Coach? Good to see you again. How you doing?
Very well. Thank you for having me, Drew.
Good. How's the summer going? All right?
Yeah, a little different, but
a little bit, right?
Getting there, we're almost through it, I guess, right?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy how it flies by. Let's start with some of the personal stuff. You got a busy week coming up here. Big changes in your family, right?
Yeah, we're off to University of Cincinnati bright and early tomorrow morning, hitting the road, my wife and I, dropping our daughter off for school.
Oh, all right. Very good. It's at Cincinnati. Very, very, very impressive.
Yeah, it's a great school. She loved it last year. Obviously, it was cut short on her, like everybody else, and she's really looking forward to going back. It's a fun ride, 14 hours. We're looking forward to that.
You like a good road trip, don't you?
Yeah. Not that long.
Your daughter, if I remember this clearly, is she still singing? If for people who don't know, she used to sing the national anthem at your hockey games, and she was fantastic.
Yeah, well, she's in the thank you, and she's in the theater program at CCM, which is the University of Cincinnati. So it's a pretty good program, and she worked hard to get into it, and she loves it, just loves it.
Awesome. Well, very good. Cool. We'll have fun. Have 14 hours. It'll fly by. Don't worry about it.
The ride back's worse.
Yeah, that is true. I bet it is. So big changes in your life there. What has the summer and quarantine been like for you? I have to know on a personal level. I know you're doing the summer camp in Newburyport, kind of running that thing. Just tell me about the weirdness a little bit.
I didn't get you there. What was that?
Just tell me about the weirdness of the summer here with the changes. And I know you're running a summer camp. And
yeah. Well, we've obviously spent a lot of time at home, but it's been good. I've spent a lot of time with my kids and my wife. So at that aspect of it has been good. But yeah, really, really different summer. And we've been just trying to keep busy. We really haven't gone anywhere this year. This will be our first trip going to Cincinnati. So I was able to do the camp this year, which was good. We had over 100 kids there, over 60 girls and 50 boys. And so I finished that up last week. But yeah, that's about it. Try to stay busy.
Yeah. What's the age groups for that?
7th grade, and we had some college. We actually had some college kids there as well. We actually had the Frymouth kid there for a few days.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Kid from Penn State there, played at Pentucket for a couple of years. Then he went over to Brooks for 2 years.
Yeah.
And he's full boat to Penn State. He looks at first or second tight end taken, looking at in the draft.
Wow. How about that?
So that was pretty impressive to get to work with him for 2 days,
Absolutely. Good looking athlete there, right?
Wow. You ain't kidding. Better kid than athlete.
That's always nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's kind of like that demographic though too, that 7th grade to college. That's kind of the age group that I find it would be tough for me at that age group to like really respect this whole quarantine. It's going to be brutal on that age group. What do you get the feel from that group of kids? Is it a little bit looser with the rules, or are they pretty respectful of the virus and all that?
Well, they have to be reminded. There's no question about it. Throughout the first couple of weeks of the camp, we had to remind about distancing, and I can understand it's very difficult for teenage kids and younger kids. I have two at home that, I've at times struggled with, and I can understand that. I can't imagine myself being 19 and having to stay home, especially during the summertime,
Yeah.
But for the most part, we've been very good, I think. And we ran the camp very strict regarding the rules, and the kids adhered to it. So it worked out.
Dude, what are some of those changes from past years that you've had to put in? Because I'm sure even for you, it's a learning curve.
Yeah, I mean, it's very important. Obviously, just you have to practice what you preach, and I did the best I could, staying 6 feet away from the kids, and had the mask on, and when the kids moved station to station, they had to wear the mask. They had to get on their assigned dots, which we had dots, 6 feet apart, making sure they were separated. And the first couple of days it was tough, but you just had to keep reminding them, and for the most part, they were pretty good with it. But again, like you hit the nail on the head there. It's tough to tell teenage kids that, that you can't socialize like you regularly socialize. And yeah. I'm not so sure that that's always going on, but we tried the best we could controlling that aspect of it.
Oh, good for you. Can I get a virtual cup of that coffee being made for you in the background, by the way?
I usually do that, but I'm running a little late today, so my wife's on the coffee duty. Hopefully it's strong enough.
You usually make the coffee, yeah.
I do all the cooking here.
Yes. Good for you. See, I got the I got the strong. This is actually a Starbucks, but
oh yeah,
they do the black strong. I don't know if you do the strong. If you like strong coffee, Starbucks is a good spot. But
I do like strong coffee, but not quite that strong. I'm not a big fan of Starbucks.
Yeah, it's funny. I tell people I work with. I used to work near like a mile from one, so it's just when we started going, and I was never like a coffee snob at all. But I started going there just because it was the one next to us, and like I clearly am addicted to it now. Like even if I don't need like a coffee, I need the taste of it, like in the morning, or I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I think my daughter's the same with it.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. Probably not good, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, I've always made my coffee. Actually been making coffee since I've been 10, I think. And not drinking coffee, but my dad owned a diner, so I was involved in all that stuff as a kid.
Yeah, that's right. You got a lot of lessons from the diner back in the day, right?
Yeah, I was working at a very young age at the diner.
That's right.
Right up through high school, 5:30 in the morning. It was fun.
Till what age did you start?
My brother and I were in there at 9 or 10 doing dishes and, peeling and cutting potatoes for the home fries. And that lasted right through high school. That'd be Saturday and Sunday morning. It was a good, it was a good lesson for us.
And this is why you do the cooking. There you go. It stuck with you all this time.
Yeah, well, it's something you can always do, I don't think people are always going to want to eat. So if you can cook a good egg, you're in business. Diner
life is early too, and you have remained an early bird your whole life.
Yes, in early, out early. That's the way I like it. My dad imprinted that into my being.
It is. I think it's the best time of the day. But do you instill some of those? I guarantee you, there's some like diner lessons about like what real work is in a hockey locker room. Am I right?
Well, I mean, you get out of things in life what you put into them, right?
Yeah.
If you develop a work ethic young in life, it usually tends to stick with you, I think, And I have 3 brothers, and we've all never been really afraid to work, and I think that has something to do with what my dad instilled in us. So I'm grateful for it. Well, while it was going on, while I was being shaken at 4:45 in the morning as a 14-year-old to get up, it wasn't fun,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad we did it.
Last diner question, because I've always been fascinated by like the restaurant and breakfast life, because I've always thought it would be the coolest thing to own one or run one. But I always say it's clearly not an easy business to run. You're up early, you're there late. I mean, a little backstory on that. You want to just confirm that for me?
No, definitely not easy to run. I mean, you have to be willing to work. I mean, and that's it. I saw my dad do it 7 days a week. You know, he was up 4 a.m, off to work 7 days a week. And, you know, my brothers and one of us was with him all the time. It was usually me and my older brother, G. But then the younger two got involved, which is good. So
Yeah.
it was the 4 of us doing it, you know.
Yeah, very cool. All right, let's talk hockey for a little bit. Again, we're joined here by Newburyport head hockey coach Paul Yameen, and he's a teacher in the school. How many years with the hockey program here, Coach? You're getting up there now.
I am getting up there. I think this will be 18 or 19.
18. That has to be, and I think I've said this to you before, probably when it was more like 15. It has to be one of the longest running high school coaches out there, because I look at all these coaches these days and they seem to be, people have a hard time staying for whatever reason, whether it's in their own control or out of their control. For whatever reason, they seem to be much shorter stints than when I was growing up. You know, you'd always have coaches there. You're kind of on the, you're one of the outliers now that has been there for almost 2 decades, and what a run.
Yeah, it's, you know, I'm amazed at how time goes by, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, I see old players now, and then some of them are in early 30s. So I've been there for a while. Jed and I have been there for a while. And, you know, hopefully we have a season this year, and just hoping things work out and the kids get back on the field and on the ice surface. And, you know, that's what they need to do, and that's what they want to do. They expressed that to me very vocally at the camp last week. They want back in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand, obviously, but you have to, you know, understand the other side of it too. So hopefully, you know, by early winter we have a vaccine and we're back to normal.
You had one of the really, hockey was one of those seasons that so far has been, I mean, some of the championship games, I guess, last year were, but as far as like the season goes, you got your season in, and then this thing ramped up. And a lot of people were looking at it. They thought maybe fall sports could be in a little bit of trouble this year as everybody goes back and tries to, you know, test run this. I think a lot of people are really in the back of their minds kind of targeting winter and saying, let's try to put a good winter season together. Maybe that could be the real comeback. I'm not writing off fall sports. I don't want to be that person that seems to be doing that. Hopefully all that works out. But hopefully your seasons can be intact. What are those conversations leading up to it all been? I'm sure you've been involved in a million of them. What have they all been like? What are people saying?
Well, I had spoken to our AD last week, you know, about the fall sports, and I think that they're going to try, and some of the sports are going to be a go, but contact sports, intentional contact sports, probably will not be a go in the fall. I mean, that's not definite, but that's what I'm hearing, and I think, so say if football doesn't fly in the fall, they're going to try and move it to the spring, I think, which is a problem, because you have plenty of kids playing lacrosse that play football, you know, or baseball. It would be football and baseball. You know, they have to make a choice if that's what they do, if they move it to the fall, to the spring. As far as the winter sports go, I'm hearing possibly January 1st, and try and get the season into 2 months. So it should be like 3 games a month, 3 games a week. Which, if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. You know, I mean, everybody's in the same boat, and just really looking forward to having a season. You know, want to have a season.
I mean, this has been, give me a little bit of that personal aspect, because I've talked to, I can just imagine what it would be like to be a junior and senior and have these talks going on about possibly stripping away seasons, never mind the ones that did lose their season at the end of last year. But like I hear some people say, they're high school kids, they'll be fine. But you can't just brush that off. Like, I remember how like impactful those senior years were. Some of my best memories with my guys from home are those senior seasons of hanging out. And I mean, it really is a huge impactful moment in time, and it sheds some light on that a little bit, because you see these kids today.
Yeah, it's more ways than one. You know, you have kids that have aspirations of playing college sports, you know, and their junior and senior year are obviously big years to be looked at and scouted. And, you know, a perfect example for us is Jackson Marshall, who was our junior goalie last year, that didn't get to play last year because of he tore a couple ligaments in his knee playing lacrosse the year before in the spring. So he was a freshman for us under Kenny Hodge. So he had a good year of tutelage there. He had a great starting sophomore year. He started as a sophomore, took us to the tournament. Then he lost his junior year for injury, and now he's really looking forward to his senior year, as we are. I mean, he's fit, big, strong goalie that's ready to go. And there's a kid that could lose junior and senior year, one from injury, one from the pandemic. So
Yeah.
a lot of kids are in tough situations, and I think it's important to do whatever we can to get the seasons in. No matter if we have to change it a little bit as far as restrictions and wearing masks and whatever we have to do, I think we have to try and get the season in. And, the same with football. If football is canceled in the fall, then they have to try and do what they can do to get it in the spring.
Yeah. It's interesting because you talk about I had not heard that about possibly pushing football back. Maybe I had heard some rumblings, but I hadn't heard it from somebody actually in the system like you.
Well, there's a 3-week period from when winter sports and spring sports start. So there's time in there. With the exceptions of the teams that are making a run in the tournament, they'd still be going in that period. But there is a 3-week period there where there is no sports. So maybe they could do something, start them earlier, end them later. I don't know, just something to get the season in for the kids.
Yeah, and but think about that decision though. I mean, hopefully your winter season is not affected, but I know you can relate. Say it was a sport where there was an overlap. Maybe a kid plays something one season and then comes to hockey and they have to make a decision on the two sports that they play now suddenly, two sports that they've probably been playing their whole lives and are maybe just as dedicated to each one. I mean, what a horribly tough decision that is to throw on a high school kid at that age.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just unprecedented what these kids are going through. And, I mean, what do? You love both sports. How do you choose? I guess if you're going to play one in college, you're going to pursue one in college, that'd be the one you play.
Yeah.
But, we love guys and girls that play 2 or 3 sports. That you love multiple sport athletes. And unfortunately, you don't have them as much as you used to, It's a lot more sport specific today than it was, or playing 2 rather than 3, and to see seasons get taken away from kids, it's tough.
What about the prospect of anybody who has ever seen a Newburyport hockey game in your home rink knows that you guys have one of the greatest home ice advantages around. It is a hockey city. It's a hockey community. And it's a great home ice advantage. What about the prospect of playing in front of no fans?
It is what it is. I'll do whatever we have to do to play. I think this should be a good year for us. We've been waiting for the senior crew, and we have a good, healthy, big, strong goalie. So if they want to play down on the Mall, we'll go play down on the Mall.
Right. You'll play anywhere. I get you.
I actually, I know it's far-fetched, but I looked into, possibly outdoor rink. Some, like the NHL does, and it could be done, but obviously it's a big number, money-wise. But I think it's better to be outdoors than indoors, right? When with this virus, and it's something that you'd have to it would take time to put together. So it's really, we don't have enough time for that. But just thinking on how we could get these games in and get practice in, and just trying to figure stuff out.
It's literally all that outside the box thinking, though. I mean, I think that more and more of that has to be encouraged. I think that is an awesome idea. You could host, not every town has the resources to put on a beautiful outdoor rink. Newburyport does have the space and area.
No, I looked into it. Yeah, it's it can go right on turf. It won't damage the turf. We have lights there. It could be used at night. We practice and playing games.
You could hold games. You could be the hub for the whole
right.
A-band league.
Right. That was my thinking. When they were saying, look, you're not going to. The season's going to be shortened, and this and, the different things they were coming up with. I'm thinking, well, what if you did an outdoor rink, but it's a big number with maintenance, and it's doable, but again, you'd have to have a lot of people involved, and I just don't think we have the time right now to do that.
Yeah.
I wish I'd pursued it a little earlier, but I just think, we'll be okay by the winter time. We should be okay. And who knows if we're going to be okay.
Yes, we'll keep the fingers crossed on that. What a great idea, though. I'm happy you told me that, because it's stuff like that I do think all these programs really need to start thinking about, and just like.
Well, yeah, and again, like we are one school that has the area to do it. If at that time of the year the field's not used, and you do like what the NHL does. They slap it right down on a field and have at it, right?
Yeah. It could be beautiful.
I think it'd be great. I mean, when I was a kid, we went up to Canada one year to play, and we get all the way up there, and we're told that the rinks are on strike. So we played outside. It was the middle of February in St. Henri, Canada, and we played outside. And it was, and my parents, I remember watching them in the car, watching it from the car because it was so cold out, watching the game, and all the parents were in their cars watching the game. But it was, we had a ball, and it was probably 10 below zero out, but we had a ball. It was great.
Probably one of your best memories playing hockey growing up, right?
Oh yeah, it was great. It was the first time we ever did something like that, and to do it in Canada, and it was just a great memory.
You remember who made that call? Coaches tell you, listen, kids, this is what we're going to do, and you guys go on board? Yeah,
I think I was 13 or maybe 12 or 13 years old at the time, so I think whatever,
That's too cool. I can see it now. You could do the whole the hockey hub Newburyport. It'd be a whole just post Christmas in Newburyport, hockey season kicks in. It'd be beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, again, like you said, we wouldn't be the only team using the facility. You bring in all the K-Band League teams if they want to practice on it.
Yep.
And everybody chips in a little bit for the cost of it.
Good stuff. Paul Yameen, head coach Newburyport Hockey. He's also in the school. He's the gym teacher there. What are your thoughts? You mentioned how outside is preferable these days. What are the thoughts about being back in the school? That's a whole different ballgame, right?
Yeah. A side of me wants back in bad. I want to go back to school. I want to go back to work. I want to work with the kids. But, you got to be sensible and understand the science part of it. And, I think that it's something that you just have to take serious, obviously, and people my age, I'm 55 years old now, and they say, that's the age, and that as you get 55 older, you can be affected a lot worse. So, I got to think about that side of it as well. And I mean, nobody's Superman, and you don't know how your body would handle this virus. Some people handle it fine. Some people don't. So whatever they tell me we're doing as of right now. I think it's remote for the high school. I mean, they haven't made that decision. It's going to be made this week. The school committee is making that decision this week, but I think that's what is being proposed because of the schedule and the way the schedule works at the high school. It's difficult to have half the kids in and half the kids out and just alternate it that way. But the way the schedule rotates, it's just too difficult. So
yeah,
I'm hearing the elementary and the middle school are going back part-time and will be remote.
Okay. All right. So that's where we're starting. That's interesting. Every community, it's amazing how every community is having to make these decisions on their own. It's like, I hear different ideas, different plans, different hybrid models. It's like, my goodness, a lot to digest.
Well, I think the Newburyport community is pretty good as far as the numbers go.
Yeah.
So hopefully it keeps trending that way. And if it does, we'll probably get back full-time at some point.
Yeah. I can imagine. We mentioned how I always treat you as kind of an old school guy, up early, be on time, all those things. I can imagine the virtual life is not your favorite.
No. If I didn't really enjoy your company, Drew, you wouldn't have me right now. I'm not a big virtual guy.
Fair enough. Just wanted to get that out of the way. And thank you for coming on.
Well, I've had my share of Zoom meetings now from last March till June. We were having Zoom meetings a lot, school-wise and department meetings and faculty meetings. So I've been I'm I guess a veteran on the Zoom now, but I still don't like it.
I think we're all veterans on the Zoom now, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
How's the golf game been? I got to play a little bit more when sports went away. I needed something to feed that competitive edge. So
yeah, it doesn't change. You know, I could go 2 months, 3 months without playing. I'll go play the same. You know, I just don't play enough to really let it bother me that I want to be better. You know, but I have some good rounds, and you know that keeps me going.
All right, very good. I'd be remiss to ask you. I'm talking with one of my favorite hockey minds in this neck of the woods. The big news of the week, of course, Tuukka Rask leaves the hub. I mean, I know you're coaching Newburyport hockey, but I think any hockey guy has an opinion on this. Tuukka Rask, your thoughts?
Well, again, the time we're in now, it's hard to question anybody. You know, I like to think that if I was in that position, I'd be playing hockey right now. But you know, I'm sure he's doing it for good reason. His teammates seem to be backing him when you listen to them talk. So he probably has something going on with his family. And once you leave, right? The bubble. So it's unfortunate, but you know, I think Halak is very capable of, you know, doing the job. I mean, I think he has over 30 playoff game played, you know, so he's got the experience, and he seems like a solid goalie to me. So I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, I think I mean, you know more than anybody. You've had your fair share of goalie injuries throughout hockey seasons.
Unfortunately, we have.
Yeah, sorry to bring that back up.
Well, it's a fact, you know, and I don't know why. You know, we lost Kenny for a full year 1 year. We lost Jackson for a full year, and I can go on and on. But I know everybody goes through it, but it just seems like
you have a good backup, though. I mean, it's so many times you don't think of the backup goalie, but
that was our situation last year. You know, we weren't a bad team last year, but we went from having, you know, a junior goalie, 6'2" junior goalie with a full year of experience under his belt and a year of sitting behind Kenny Hodge as a freshman. So we think we're going to be very strong in that area last year, you know? And then I get the call, Jackson tore his AC and his MC. I'm like, oh, God, no. So, you know, he's out for a year, you know, a solid year, and there was no shot at getting him back. So we had to turn to a freshman and a junior who had never played varsity hockey. So we had two guys that had zero experience in the varsity net, you know, and we play a pretty good schedule. So we were behind it last year, you know, from the get-go. And I'm not blaming anybody here. It's just it's tough to put a kid in the net that has never played at that level with the schedule that we play. And, you know, we knew it was probably going to be difficult for us, but we battled all year, and we came up three-point shot of making the tournament. So it doesn't sit well with us, but, you know, we'll bounce back.
It's the great thing about hockey, though. You have something like that happen, right? And I mean, you heard the pro level, you heard every Bruins player talk about how they rally around each other. Other guys got to step up, do a little bit more. Those same talks happen at youth hockey, through high school, all the way through, right? It's the great thing about the sport. It really is a team sport.
Yeah, and again, our guys rallied around our goalies last year. It was just, you know, they weren't ready, you know, and they tried, they played hard, they practiced hard, and, you know, we can't fault them for that. We were very happy with their effort, and it just didn't work out for us last year. So it'll be good for those guys this year, and now I think we'll have some pretty good competition in the pipes. So hopefully we can get out there and get after it.
All right, we're going to do rapid fire here with Coach Paul Yameen to end the show. You remember this. We do first thing that comes to your mind, you got to answer, right? You remember the deal.
Well, I'm older now, so it might take me a little longer, dude. So. Well,
it's fine. I can't hold you to anything.
I think it's a little slower now, you know?
55. I think you get those good young looks for 55. I think most people have you pegged in the
how did it happen? How did I get to be 55?
Well, it happens. Daughter going away to school was the giveaway. That's the only reason why I believed it. Okay. No, so here we go.
All right, go ahead.
Coffee, black or sweetened and all that other stuff?
Dark, no sugar.
Yep, figured. Favorite sport to play other than hockey?
Ping pong.
Ooh, interesting. I like that answer. Favorite sport?
Well, I can't play football anymore. I can't play baseball anymore. I'm too old, so I play ping pong.
All right, good. You got a table at the house?
I did. That's a long story. I did.
Touchy subject, sorry.
Yes, it is. I had a real nice table at my house. Yeah.
All right, very good. Favorite movie?
Rocky. Or Jaws. Rocky and Jaws. It's either one.
You taking the whole Rocky series, or are you going to specify?
No, the Rocky one. Rocky
Okay.
one.
Yeah. Favorite musician?
Ooh. Favorite musician. I'll go with the Rolling Stones.
Stones. Favorite concert you ever attended?
The Who.
The Who. Where?
Without question. Foxborough Stadium, 1980, 81, something like that.
Wow, that's a good take. Do you know I have never seen the. You know, I'm a music guy. I've never seen the Who. I had one chance, like college year, and I couldn't make it happen, and I've regretted it like ever since.
Oh, you should regret it.
Yeah.
Honestly, growing up, going to school in the 80s, I liked all those, the rock and roll bands, the Stones, Zeppelin, on, and The Who. And, but the Who never really was my top, until I saw them in concert. Unbelievable show. And that was in 1981 or 82 or something like that. And then I saw them 2 years ago at Foxborough. At Fenway. And they were awesome.
Great. That's fantastic. You mentioned Foxborough Stadium. Foxborough Stadium or Gillette Stadium, your preference?
Foxborough.
Like the old one?
I like the old. Well, get rid of the bleachers and put some seats in, and then I like it more.
Fair enough. Let's do Garden first, the new Garden.
Oh, yeah, no question. The old Garden.
Yeah.
The old seats, everything. Bring it back.
My dad says the same. He used to take me to some games. Like I was pretty young, so I don't like really remember it. Like I have vague memories, but he continues to this day to tell me. He goes, "You will never ever really realize what that building was like. How loud it would get, how great the atmosphere was." There's a part of him that still hates this new building.
Yeah, I think if you're a Boston fan and you've been a part of the old Garden, I understand that thought process. I was lucky that I got to see a little bit of Bobby Orr. I was young, but I got to see one game. My dad took us to a game where he was playing, and we got to see Larry Bird and Kevin McHale, and to see the Garden when those guys were playing, it was just unbelievable. My brothers and I were at Game 6 of the Lakers series, I think in '85, when the Lakers beat them. Magic came across the lane, threw up a hook shot. He looked like Kareem throwing up the hook shot.
Yep.
Rolled around the rim and dropped in, and they beat him. And that Garden went from this highest pitch sound that you couldn't even hear, and it was so loud in there, and went silent. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, tough to get that place quiet too. All right, here's my last rapid fire question for Coach Paul Yameen. I know how to end this thing on a good note. You'll see how I do this.
Right.
What is that feeling like when the clock hits 0 and you have won a state championship at the high school level?
Well, you just sent a chill through my bones. So, it's something that I've always said this. It's something that you would want every high school athlete to taste, to be a part of. It's the pinnacle, the pinnacle of high school sports, and how many kids get to get there and play in that game. Win, lose, or draw. How many guys get to get on the Garden ice and play a coach on the Garden ice? It's indescribable. It was, I don't know, 12 years ago, but I see guys today, and just to see the guys today that were on those teams, it's just brings back a lot of good memories. And so, it's something that I always can turn to, and if you're having a down day or whatever, it's something that always brings me up.
Yeah. Do you remember that? What was that moment like? So you celebrate on the ice, obviously. It's one big party. Eventually you go back into the locker room and you have this like last moment with the guys in there where it's just you guys. You remember what you said?
Some. I can't. Well, yeah, I remember some. But, it's just from the ice, you celebrate on the ice. You celebrate in the locker room. The bus ride home was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I think that was the best part of it, just to hear those guys singing in the back. And, it's just something that you'll never forget, and something that I'm very, very lucky, fortunate to be a part of. We got back there the following year, so I get to experience both sides of it. We lost the following year, so it was tough. But I was happy for Coach Schumann. If there's one guy that I would want to lose to, which, you don't want to lose, but Coach Schumann's the guy. Canton, great guy, great program. They won it again. Well, they didn't win it last year, but they would have won last year.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate because, you don't have too many teams like he had last year. That was quite a team.
Yeah.
We battled them. It was a good game. They beat us by a goal. It was a 1-goal game, but they were good.
I wish there was a way to play those at some point. Get those teams back together and take one shot at it, but that's not the world we live in. But
I know my guys would love it.
Yeah.
We do an alumni game every year, so I get to see. I see a lot of them here and there, but a lot of them keep in touch with me. But the alumni game, I get to see them all together again. And that's quite a night.
All right. Well, Coach Paul, Yameen, I wish you all the best. Good health to you and your family. Have a safe trip to Cincinnati. I know that can be a tough moment on a dad. I know you'll be fine, but I'll be thinking about you.
I think the first time is the hardest time. I mean, last year I struggled with it mightily when I had to say bye to her. She's 14 hours away, so it's not like I can jump in my car and get there.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be a little easier this time. She really wants to go. So
one summer in quarantine and you're both okay with it now, huh?
Yeah. Well, I was, I had a good summer this year. I got to spend a lot of time with my daughter. So it was good in that aspect of it,
Perfect. And and thank your wife for working hard, making the coffee in the background. We saw her there picking up your slack. Very good.
Well, I usually have 2 in me by now, Drew. I don't even. I'm
all right. Go do it
a little bit.
Coach Paul, Yameen, thanks for the time, man. We appreciate it. Be safe.
Thank you. Good seeing you, Drew.
Bud.
Be safe.
All right. Good stuff right there. Newburyport hockey coach Paul Yameen, a excellent guy. A little backstory there, how I know him. I used to, my buddy Gary and I used to do the Newburyport hockey play-by-play back in the day. God, how many years ago was that now? We probably ended it about 5 years ago, which means we started like 4 years before that. So, man, almost like a decade ago, we started doing play-by-play for Newburyport high school hockey. There used to be a little radio station in Newburyport that no longer exists, but they used to cover every single game. We would travel with them everywhere we go, all across the state, wherever those games took us. I remember going up to Franklin from Newburyport a couple times, Canton, I think. We went everywhere, all these little ice rinks. It was a very cool experience. We just drive to these rinks that we've never been to. And I don't know, we had a great time. And Coach Paul Yameen and his coaching staff, which is a great group of guys, Jed Vopalant, Jeff Gadatis, they were just fantastic to us. First of all, it was like, who are these new guys that we don't know? And then eventually I think we earned their trust, and I think they ended up liking us. So we ended up being, as you can see, close friends to this day. And he's always good to this current show that I have. So big thanks to Coach Paul Yameen of Newburyport. Got some good stuff there on summer camps and, sports seasons, hockey season, the fall, possible football changing, and a little bit of insight about the talks about what it's going to be like going back to school for that particular community. So a lot there to digest. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you've had a good start to your week here. We'll see you next time. All right. My name is Drew Moholland, live from Drew's house. Be good, everybody.